chaos is coming. Maybe it's already present in your life. Markets collapse. Relationships end. Plans fail. Health fails. Jobs disappear. And in those moments, most people fall apart. They panic. They freeze. They make terrible decisions that make everything worse. But there's a small group of people who not only survive chaos, but thrive in it, benefit from it. They remain calm when everyone else is losing their minds. They see clearly when everyone else is blinded by panic. They act when everyone else is paralyzed. The difference is not luck. It's not genetics. It's mental frameworks. Specific cognitive tools that transform chaos into clarity. That's controlling chaos. And in the end, you'll never be shaken again. Chapter 1. Chaos is the default. Stability is the skill. Most people live under an illusion. They think order is normal. They think calm is standard. They think chaos is the disruption. They're wrong. Chaos is the default. Stability is the skill. You have a choice: to keep expecting calm or to start preparing for chaos. That's the key. 1. The law of entropy. Every system in nature moves toward disorder. Your body decays without training. Your relationships drift without communication. Your finances collapse without management. Your focus erodes without discipline. This is entropy, the universal pull toward chaos. You can't stop it. You can only counter it. Every day you maintain something, you're fighting entropy. Every moment you stop maintaining, entropy wins. You have a choice: to fight daily or to surrender slowly. That's the key. The moment you understand that chaos is not the enemy, but the environment, you stop being surprised by it. 2. The illusion of stability. Stability is not a state. It's a snapshot. It's what happens when enough variables temporarily align in your favor. But people mistake that snapshot for reality. They get comfortable. They stop building buffers. They stop sharpening their edge. Then chaos returns, as it always does, and they collapse. The problem isn't chaos. The problem is your expectation that chaos won't come. You have a choice: to expect permanence or to prepare for volatility. That's the key. Elite performers live by preparation, not prediction. They don't say, "I hope it stays calm." They say, "When it stops being calm, I'll be ready." 3. The stability delusion. Modern life tricks you into thinking stability is earned once, then guaranteed forever. You get the job, you think security is permanent. You get healthy once, you think health is permanent. You save some money, you think wealth is permanent. Wrong. The second you stop maintaining, regression begins. The second you stop training, decline starts. The second you stop paying attention, entropy accelerates. You have a choice: to maintain your systems or to lose them to time. That's the key. Everything good demands constant defense. 4. Training for the storm. Look at how elite performers operate. Special forces don't hope for peace. They train for war. Pilots don't pray for clear skies. They prepare for turbulence. Surgeons don't wish for easy procedures. They rehearse complications. They expect chaos. They train for it. They build systems that function under stress. That's the mindset shift. "I hope nothing goes wrong" becomes, "When it goes wrong, I'll execute." You have a choice: to live as an optimist or to prepare as a realist. That's the key. Hope is not a strategy. Preparation is. 5. The chaos-ready mind. The chaos-ready mind doesn't seek comfort. It seeks capability. It doesn't chase calm. It builds control. It doesn't run from instability. It expects it. You build this mindset by redefining normal. Normal is volatility. Normal is uncertainty. Normal is disruption. When you redefine normal, chaos loses its power to shock you. The storm doesn't rattle you because you knew it was coming. The noise doesn't distract you because you expected interference. You have a choice: to crave calm or to control chaos. That's the key. 6. Stability as an active process. Stability is not a gift. It's not given. It's built. Every day, every action. It's not about perfection. It's about repetition. Small, daily acts that resist disorder. Planning your day, training your body, tracking your finances, managing your attention. Those are acts of stability creation. They don't eliminate chaos. They balance it. You have a choice: to build discipline or to rely on circumstance. That's the key. Without daily systems, chaos always wins. 7. How average people respond to chaos. Average people panic because they thought calm was permanent. They built no margin. They built no plan. They built no mental framework for failure. So when disruption hits, they react emotionally. They freeze. They blame. They collapse. Not because the chaos was extreme, but because their foundation was weak. You have a choice: to wait for crisis or to train for it. That's the key. Calm under pressure isn't genetic, it's rehearsed. 8. The math of resilience. If you expect chaos 100% of the time and only experience it 30%, you win. If you expect calm 100% of the time and chaos hits 30%, you lose. Expectation is leverage. Preparation multiplies that leverage. This is the equation of unshakable stability. Preparation plus expectation equals control. You don't control the storm. You control your readiness. You have a choice: to be surprised by chaos or strengthened by it. That's the key. 9. Building your stability baseline. To build stability, build systems that resist entropy. Schedule maintenance for every area of life. Weekly review of finances. Daily calibration of health. Monthly audit of goals. Quarterly reset of direction. Treat life like an operating system. Update regularly or crash eventually. You have a choice: to react randomly or to operate systematically. That's the key. Consistency is chaos control in disguise. 10. Transition. Chaos isn't coming. It's already here. It's in the markets. It's in your relationships. It's in your body. It's in your mind. You can't eliminate it, but you can train for it. You can control your reaction. You can control your readiness. You can control your frameworks. You have a choice: to live at the mercy of entropy or to become the architect of order. That's the key. You've learned the first truth of control. Chaos is constant. Stability is created. Now it's time to learn how to separate clarity from confusion when everything collapses. Chapter 3. The October 10th 10 Decision Framework. Chaos demands reaction. It pressures you to move now, decide now, speak now. It tricks you into believing speed equals control. But in chaos, speed without clarity is destruction. You have a choice: to react emotionally or to decide intelligently. That's the key. 1. The psychology of urgency. When chaos hits, the body takes over. Cortisol spikes. Adrenaline floods. The nervous system screams, "Do something." Your prefrontal cortex, the logic center, shuts down. You stop thinking long-term and start chasing relief. Every impulsive decision you've ever regretted was made in that state. You weren't thinking, you were escaping. The October 10th 10 framework exists to stop that reflex. It's a mental circuit breaker. It creates time inside pressure. It forces perspective before action. You have a choice: to act for comfort or to decide for clarity. That's the key. 2. The framework. The question is simple. Before any major move, ask: how will I feel about this decision in 10 minutes? In 10 months? In 10 years? 10 minutes tests emotion. 10 months tests direction. 10 years tests legacy. 3 timelines. 1 filter. Every decision that passes through all 3 is stable. Every decision that fails at any point is noise. That's the key. 3. The 10-minute window, emotional impulse. 10 minutes exposes the emotion behind the decision. Most bad choices feel urgent only inside that window. You want to send the angry message. You want to quit the job. You want to confront the person immediately. You want relief now. But urgency fades fast. 10 minutes later, the adrenaline drops. 10 minutes later, the emotion cools. 10 minutes later, what felt essential often feels irrelevant. If it won't matter in 10 minutes, it's not a decision. It's an impulse. You have a choice: to release the emotion or to obey it. That's the key. 4. The 10-month window, strategic alignment. 10 months test direction. It asks, does this move serve the trajectory I'm building? In chaos, you want immediate stability. You want to end discomfort. But short-term relief often creates long-term instability. The question reorients your mind from survival to strategy. Will this choice serve your mission 10 months from now? Will it move you closer to stability or distract you from it? If it doesn't align, it's not strategy, it's escape. You have a choice: to trade long-term results for short-term relief or to stay aligned with your mission. That's the key. 5. The 10-year window, legacy impact. 10 years test consequence. It forces you to zoom out beyond ego, emotion, and circumstance. Ask, when I look back a decade from now, how will this decision age? The wrong decisions decay. They rot with regret. They age poorly under time and truth. The right decisions compound. They create structure. They build reputation. They produce stability that survives storms. Every legacy is built one decision at a time. You have a choice: to decide for today or to decide for forever. That's the key. 6. Case study, the angry reaction. You've just been insulted in a meeting. Your ego wants to strike back. You want to prove control through aggression. Ask, October 10th, 10. In 10 minutes, your pulse will slow, the room will empty, and the anger will fade. In 10 months, you'll still be at the company, and that outburst would have limited your credibility. In 10 years, you'll look back and see that silence would have built more power than words. Don't send the email. Don't reply in anger. Don't react from ego. You have a choice: to protect your pride or to protect your position. That's the key. 7. Case study, the avoided conversation. You're avoiding a conversation that feels uncomfortable, a teammate underperforming, a relationship drifting, a problem you pretend isn't growing. Ask, October 10th, 10. In 10 minutes, it will feel hard. In 10 months, it will create clarity. In 10 years, it will be one of the best decisions you ever made. Avoidance compounds chaos. Confrontation creates stability. You have a choice: to choose comfort or to choose clarity. That's the key. 8. Case study, the risk decision. You're debating a career shift, a move that feels uncertain but aligned with your goals. Ask, October 10th, 10. In 10 minutes, it feels scary. In 10 months, it feels challenging but rewarding. In 10 years, it feels like the decision that changed everything. Fear screams in the short term. Growth whispers in the long term. You have a choice: to listen to fear or to commit to growth. That's the key. 9. Implementation. The framework is simple but must be trained. Step 1. Write it down. Keep October 10th, 10 visible. On your desk, in your notes, on your phone. Step 2. Apply it to every emotional decision. Pause for 60 seconds. Run the timeline. Step 3. Review your results weekly. How many bad decisions were prevented by delay? How many good ones were confirmed by perspective? Training rewires response. After 30 days, the framework becomes reflex. You have a choice: to let emotion dictate action or to let perspective dictate execution. That's the key. 10. Transition. Chaos thrives on urgency. It feeds on your impatience. It tricks you into believing reaction equals control. But control doesn't come from reaction. It comes from perspective. The October 10th 10 framework gives you that perspective. You have a choice: to be driven by chaos or to outthink it. That's the key. You've learned how to slow down impulse and make decisions that last. Now it's time to build systems that execute automatically when chaos strikes. Chapter 4. Build your chaos protocols. Chaos is predictable, not in timing but in type. Everyone will face financial chaos, relational chaos, health chaos, career chaos, and family chaos. You don't know when, but you know they're coming. That's enough to prepare. You have a choice: to hope chaos never comes or to prepare for when it does. That's the key. 1. The illusion of improvisation. Most people believe they'll figure it out when disaster strikes. That belief is a lie. You won't rise to the occasion. You'll fall to the level of your preparation. Firefighters don't figure out how to fight fires during fires. Pilots don't improvise when an engine fails. Surgeons don't panic when complications occur. They all follow one principle: when chaos arrives, you execute protocols. Elite performance under pressure isn't genius. It's pre-built systems deployed automatically. You have a choice: to rely on hope or to rely on systems. That's the key. 2. Why you need protocols. Chaos shuts down the part of your brain that makes rational decisions. Under threat, your prefrontal cortex, the logic center, goes offline. The amygdala takes control. You fight, flee, or freeze. That's why people in crisis make irrational choices. They panic, overreact, and create secondary disasters. Protocols exist to bypass that mental shutdown. They give your brain a script to follow when it can't think clearly. You don't need to decide. You just execute. That's how calm people stay calm. They aren't calm, they're prepared. You have a choice: to react emotionally or to respond procedurally. That's the key. 3. Your 5 chaos categories. Chaos comes in predictable forms. Start here: financial crisis, job loss, sudden expenses, investment collapse. Relationship crisis, breakup, betrayal, or major conflict. Health crisis, illness, injury, diagnosis. Career crisis, business failure, termination, public setback. Family crisis, death, accident, emergency. You don't need a perfect plan for each, just a structured response that restores control fast. You have a choice: to treat chaos as surprise or to treat it as certainty. That's the key. 4. The 5 elements of every protocol. Each protocol has 5 parts. Write them out. Review them quarterly. Immediate actions. What must I do in the first hour? People to contact. Who do I reach out to immediately for support, information, or perspective? Resources to access. What financial, emotional, or logistical assets are available? Decisions to defer. What choices should I postpone until emotion settles? Perspective reminders. What truths must I remember to keep chaos in context? These elements transform panic into procedure. You have a choice: to drown in confusion or to move through clarity. That's the key. 5. Example: financial crisis protocol. Scenario: you lose your primary income source. Immediate actions: freeze discretionary spending. Calculate runway. Contact top 3 clients or leads within 24 hours. People to contact: your financial advisor, a trusted peer, and your accountability partner. Resources to access: emergency fund, credit line, resume, or proposal templates. Decisions to defer: no lifestyle changes or big purchases for 30 days. Perspective reminders: this is temporary. I've solved harder problems. Cash flow loss is not identity loss. That's a functional protocol. Emotion removed, clarity installed. You have a choice: to spiral or to stabilize. That's the key. 6. Example: relationship crisis protocol. Scenario: a relationship ends or a major conflict erupts. Immediate actions: no communication for 72 hours. Breathe. Hydrate. Sleep. Write, don't send. People to contact: a friend grounded in logic, not gossip. A coach or therapist if patterns repeat. Resources to access: journal, long walks, solitude. Decisions to defer: no major life changes for 30 days. No reactionary communication. Perspective reminders: pain is data. Closure is not required for progress. Stability is internal, not relational. This prevents emotional chaos from becoming permanent damage. You have a choice: to react for relief or to act for recovery. That's the key. 7. Example: health crisis protocol. Scenario: injury or diagnosis. Immediate actions: gather facts, not opinions. Schedule evaluation. Eliminate speculation. People to contact: medical professionals, not search engines. One trusted friend for logistics. Resources to access: insurance, savings, and rest schedule. Decisions to defer: no emotional conclusions until facts confirmed. Perspective reminders: this is a process, not a punishment. Control the controllable: habits, sleep, nutrition. You can't control the event, but you can control your recovery system. You have a choice: to fear outcomes or to manage inputs. That's the key. 8. Example: career crisis protocol. Scenario: you're fired, fail publicly, or lose a business. Immediate actions: document lessons. Preserve relationships. Pause emotional posts. People to contact: mentor, network connector, previous clients. Resources to access: portfolio, testimonials, emergency funds, skill list. Decisions to defer: no career pivot for 30 days. Wait for clarity before rebuilding. Perspective reminders: failure is data, not destiny. Reputation recovers through discipline. I control skill acquisition, not external validation. You have a choice: to let ego collapse you or to let structure rebuild you. That's the key. 9. Example: family crisis protocol. Scenario: death or emergency. Immediate actions: pause non-urgent work. Manage logistics. Delegate tasks. People to contact: family, executor, close friends. Resources to access: documents, insurance, time off, emotional support. Decisions to defer: no long-term commitments while grieving. Perspective reminders: loss magnifies what matters. Grief doesn't require productivity. Presence is the protocol. You have a choice: to avoid pain or to face it with structure. That's the key. 10. Building and reviewing. Protocols aren't written once. They're refined through experience. Every chaos event teaches something. Update the document. Adjust the checklist. Train your response until it becomes reflex. Keep your protocols printed, visible, and accessible. When chaos hits, your mind won't remember. Paper will. You have a choice: to rely on memory or to rely on systems. That's the key. Transition. Chaos is inevitable. Preparation is optional. Those who prepare stay calm. Those who improvise collapse. The person who builds protocols before the storm never panics in the rain. You have a choice: to prepare now or to regret later. That's the key. You've learned how to pre-build order into the unpredictable. Now it's time to master the next layer of control: managing emotion without letting emotion manage you. Chapter 5. Emotional compartmentalization is not emotional suppression. Chaos tests emotion. Pressure exposes it. Most people fail not because they feel too much, but because they don't know what to do with what they feel. They believe control means suppression. They believe strength means pretending not to care. They're wrong. You have a choice: to deny emotion or to direct it. That's the key. 1. The distinction. Suppression and compartmentalization look similar from the outside, but inside they're opposites. Suppression says, I don't feel fear. Compartmentalization says, I feel fear, and I'm moving anyway. Suppression buries the emotion until it explodes. Compartmentalization organizes the emotion so it can't interfere. Suppression is denial. Compartmentalization is discipline. You have a choice: to lie to yourself or to lead yourself. That's the key. 2. The cost of suppression. Suppression feels like control in the moment. You push the emotion down, lock it away, move on. But every suppressed emotion builds internal pressure. Eventually, it leaks through anger, fatigue, or self-sabotage. You can't suppress biology. The limbic system doesn't vanish because you decided to ignore it. It just waits for a weaker moment to surface. Leaders who suppress eventually explode. Operators who suppress eventually burn out. Professionals who suppress eventually lose clarity. Suppression creates fragility disguised as toughness. You have a choice: to avoid short-term discomfort or to build long-term control. That's the key. 3. The power of compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is tactical. It doesn't deny emotion. It parks it. It says, I'll deal with this later, but right now I have a mission. This is how elite performers function under pressure. Navy SEALs feel fear before combat, but still execute. Surgeons feel anxiety during complications, but still operate. Pilots feel stress during engine failure, but still follow the checklist. They feel everything, but they're controlled by nothing. You have a choice: to react to emotion or to regulate it. That's the key. 4. The framework. The compartmentalization framework has 3 steps. It takes 30 seconds. It saves hours of chaos. Step 1. Acknowledge. Name the emotion out loud. I am feeling panic. I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling fear. Labeling activates the prefrontal cortex and lowers amygdala activity. It moves you from reaction to recognition. Step 2. Separate. Remind yourself, this emotion is information, not instruction. The fear might signal risk. The anger might signal boundary violation. The sadness might signal loss. But none of these emotions dictate your next move. You do. Step 3. Act. Execute your protocol despite the emotion. You already built your checklist in Chapter 4. Now it's time to use it. You move, even when your body resists. You have a choice: to obey emotion or to execute logic. That's the key. 5. Application. The panic scenario. A crisis hits. Your mind races. Your chest tightens. You can't think. Acknowledge. I am feeling panic. Separate. Panic is my body's alarm, not my commander. Act. Run your chaos protocol. Breathe. Slow movement. Execute the first step on the list. Panic loses power when action begins. The nervous system can't stay in high alarm while you're operating with purpose. You have a choice: to freeze or to function. That's the key. 6. Application. The conflict scenario. Someone attacks you verbally, insults you, questions your competence. Your ego ignites. Anger surges. Acknowledge. I am feeling anger. Separate. Anger is energy, not instruction. Act. Stay silent. Pause 10 seconds. Respond with data, not emotion. Silence in anger is dominance. Clarity under insult is strength. You have a choice: to defend ego or to protect control. That's the key. 7. Application. The pressure scenario. A major presentation. An audience of decision makers. You feel fear building. Acknowledge. I am feeling fear. Separate. Fear is my system preparing for performance. Act. Focus on execution. Start the task. Let physiology serve you, not sabotage you. Fear and excitement are the same chemistry. Interpretation determines direction. You have a choice: to flee from stress or to channel it. That's the key. 8. Training the skill. You can't build compartmentalization in crisis. You build it in calm through repetition. Practice in low-stakes situations. Traffic, workload, minor confrontation. When frustration rises, run the framework. Acknowledge, separate, act. Train the system daily. After 30 days, the loop becomes automatic. Emotion hits. Framework runs. Action follows. That's emotional discipline. That's stability in motion. You have a choice: to be trained by chaos or to train for chaos. That's the key. 9. The science behind the system. Neuroscience confirms it. Labeling emotion activates the ventrolateral prefrontal cortex. That activation downregulates the amygdala, the fear center. Translation: naming emotion reduces its control. Separating emotion clarifies signal. Acting despite emotion rewires response. Over time, this rewiring becomes your baseline. Chaos hits. You don't react. You recognize. You don't suppress. You compartmentalize. You don't panic. You perform. You have a choice: to let biology lead or to let training lead. That's the key. 10. Transition. Chaos doesn't demand emotionlessness. It demands control. The world doesn't reward who feels the least. It rewards who functions the best. You don't need to kill emotion. You need to contain it. You don't need to ignore fear. You need to move through it. You have a choice: to be a hostage to emotion or to be a handler of it. That's the key. You've learned how to feel fully while acting clearly. Now it's time to direct your attention like a weapon. Chapter 6. The shrinking circle of control. Chaos steals control. That's its first move. It takes the systems, routines, and certainties you depend on and smashes them. Untrained minds respond by trying to control everything again. They panic. They overreach. They burn out. Trained minds do the opposite. They shrink their circle of control. They accept what's gone. They focus only on what remains. You have a choice: to waste energy fighting what's outside your reach or to master what's still within it. That's the key. 1. The truth about control. Control isn't power over the world. Control is power over yourself inside the world. You don't control outcomes. You control input. You don't control events. You control response. You don't control others. You control execution. Chaos exposes how small your true control always was. It doesn't take it away. It just reveals reality. You have a choice: to resist that truth or to adapt to it. That's the key. 2. The framework. Draw 3 circles. Label them: control, influence, concern. Control, what you can act on directly. Influence, what you can affect but not dictate. Concern, what you care about but cannot change. Every problem fits inside one of these circles. The mistake most people make: they pour energy into the largest circle, the circle of concern. That's where anxiety lives. That's where exhaustion grows. That's where chaos wins. You have a choice: to feed the chaos or to starve it. That's the key. 3. The control circle. This is your ground, your habits, your routines, your immediate actions. In a storm, control shrinks, but it never disappears. You can't control the wind. You can adjust the sails. You can't control the economy. You can control your budget. You can't control others' reactions. You can control your tone, your words, your discipline. Every ounce of focus here compounds stability. This is where your leverage lives. You have a choice: to complain or to control. That's the key. 4. The influence circle. You can't dictate outcomes here, but you can nudge them. You can't control if your team follows perfectly, but you can influence through example. You can't control whether people believe you, but you can influence through consistency. You can't control market direction, but you can influence your exposure and positioning. Influence requires detachment. You do your part, but you release the result. You act without emotional investment and outcome. You have a choice: to seek domination or to practice influence. That's the key. 5. The concern circle. This is where most people live. They refresh the news. They obsess over opinions. They argue about politics, weather, trends, and fears. Concern feels productive because it feels emotional. But emotion without action is wasted energy. Everything in this circle is noise. Your job is to minimize time spent here. Every minute wasted in concern is a minute stolen from control. You have a choice: to feed panic or to feed precision. That's the key. 6. Case study: the pandemic. During a global crisis, the untrained mind tried to control the uncontrollable. They argued about government policy, border restrictions, and media narratives. They lived in the circle of concern. The trained mind stayed inside the circle of control. They maintained health, communication, and adaptability. They protected income streams, built remote skills, and controlled daily structure. Same environment, different circles. One panicked, one performed. You have a choice: to react emotionally or to execute intelligently. That's the key. 7. Case study: the market crash. During economic collapse, chaos multiplies. Most people try to control the market. They check charts hourly. They panic sell. They spiral. The trained mind zooms in. Control: spending, savings, and self-education. Influence: network, opportunities, and adaptability. Concern: global market trends, politics, and speculation. They move energy inward, where impact is highest. That's how they stabilize when others fall apart. You have a choice: to drown in the data or to focus on your domain. That's the key. 8. How to shrink effectively. When chaos expands, shrink faster. Step 1. Audit your focus. Write everything that consumes your mental bandwidth. Step 2. Categorize each item: control, influence, or concern. Step 3. Eliminate concern tasks. No thought, no discussion, no time. Step 4. Minimize influence tasks. Set boundaries. Measure results. Don't overinvest. Step 5. Double down on control. Build structure. Track habits. Execute relentlessly. Control is where peace lives. Focus is where performance grows. You have a choice: to scatter energy or to concentrate power. That's the key. 9. The math of mental energy. Energy is finite. If 90% goes to concern, only 10% remains for control. That ratio guarantees collapse. The elite reverse it: 90% energy, control; 10% influence; 0% concern. That's why they look calm under fire. They're not superhuman. They're selective. You have a choice: to waste energy or to weaponize it. That's the key. 10. The practice. Start daily. Every morning, run this checklist. What's in my control today? What's in my influence today? What's in my concern that I must ignore? Write it down. Act only on the first two. Delete the third. This becomes a ritual. Over time, it rewires your nervous system to conserve focus under stress. You stop reacting. You start responding. You have a choice: to live scattered or to live structured. That's the key. Transition. Chaos expands your world until it crushes you. Discipline shrinks it until you can manage it. Every time you feel overwhelmed, it's a signal your focus is in the wrong circle. Pull back. Shrink to control. Reclaim efficiency. You have a choice: to chase chaos or to control precision. That's the key. You've now mastered how to redirect focus under pressure. Next, you'll learn how to prepare for chaos before it hits, so panic never stand a chance. Chapter 7. Chaos preparation prevents chaos panic. Stability isn't built in the storm. It's built before the storm. By the time chaos hits, it's too late to prepare. The only people who stay calm during collapse are the ones who built systems during peace. You have a choice: to prepare when it's calm or to panic when it's not. That's the key. 1. The principle of anti-fragility. Anti-fragility means gaining strength from chaos instead of being destroyed by it. Most people aim for comfort. The elite aim for resilience. Fragile systems break under stress. Resilient systems survive stress. Anti-fragile systems grow stronger because of stress. You don't build anti-fragility during crisis. You build it during calm through preemptive structure, redundancy, buffer, contingency. That's the discipline. Not reacting faster, but preparing earlier. You have a choice: to live ready or to live reactive. That's the key. 2. The illusion of efficiency. Efficiency looks impressive in calm times. No waste, no buffer, no backup. Everything optimized for maximum speed. Then chaos hits. A single disruption breaks the system. No redundancy, no room to absorb impact. Efficiency turns into fragility. What looks smart becomes suicidal. Airplanes aren't designed for maximum speed. They're designed for survivability. Hospitals aren't built for daily calm. They're built for rare emergencies. Your life needs the same design principle: resilience over efficiency. You have a choice: to optimize for comfort or to structure for chaos. That's the key. 3. The rule of 3. Elite stability operates on one universal formula: redundancy in threes. 3 sources, 3 systems, 3 supports, income streams, 3 ways to earn. Lose 1, still function. Skills, 3 that generate income. 1 perishes, 2 sustain. Allies, 3 people you can call in crisis. Isolation kills speed. Resources, 3 months of runway in every critical area: money, time, and energy. This prevents any single failure from collapsing your entire structure. You don't need 10 backups. You need 3 reliable ones. That's stability engineered by design. You have a choice: to rely on 1 pillar or to build 3. That's the key. 4. The 4 stability buffers. There are 4 domains where chaos attacks first. You need buffers in all of them. 1. Financial buffer. 6 to 12 months of expenses liquid and accessible. Not as an investment, as survival capital. It buys time, the most valuable asset in any crisis. 2. Relationship buffer. A small circle of allies who would help without hesitation. Built through consistent contribution and integrity long before you need them. 3. Skill buffer. Transferable capabilities, sales, communication, problem-solving, adaptability. Skills are portable assets that make you unemployable-proof. 4. Health buffer. Fitness, nutrition, and sleep that create energy reserves. In chaos, fatigue kills judgment faster than fear does. You have a choice: to rely on luck or to rely on buffers. That's the key. 5. Preparation as a system. Preparation isn't paranoia. It's discipline expressed in structure. Every quarter, run a stability audit. Ask, if I lost my main income today, how long could I survive? If my health failed tomorrow, what systems would support me? If a major relationship collapsed, who could I call? If a global disruption occurred, how fast could I adapt? Write the answers. Wherever the answer is not long, you've found your weak point. Strengthen it before chaos does it for you. You have a choice: to find weaknesses voluntarily or to discover them painfully. That's the key. 6. Case study. Financial preparedness. The untrained mind calls emergency funds wasted potential. They'd rather invest every dollar for short-term return. Then chaos hits. They're forced to liquidate investments at a loss. They lose not just money, but peace. The trained mind calls emergency funds freedom capital. They understand liquidity equals control. They can make calm decisions under pressure because they're not desperate. You have a choice: to chase returns or to build reserves. That's the key. 7. Case study. Skill redundancy. Industries collapse. Technology replaces roles. Trends shift. Those with one skill panic. Those with 3 adapt. The copywriter becomes a strategist. The athlete becomes a coach. The pilot becomes an instructor. Skills compound like savings accounts. Every hour spent learning a transferable skill is an insurance policy against chaos. You have a choice: to master one lane or to prepare for detours. That's the key. 8. Case study. Relationship buffer. During crisis, isolation magnifies chaos. The untrained mind burns bridges during calm. The trained mind builds alliances before they're needed. A small group of reliable allies is worth more than 1,000 shallow contacts. You don't build connection in crisis, you test it. Preparation is giving before you need to receive. You have a choice: to network for gain or to connect for resilience. That's the key. 9. The psychological effect of preparation. Preparation doesn't just protect you, it rewires you. It creates internal calm because you know you've already acted. The mind stops catastrophizing when the plan exists. This is why prepared people appear emotionless during chaos. They're not detached. They're executing what's already rehearsed. Preparation kills panic because panic feeds on uncertainty. A plan is certainty. You have a choice: to fear the unknown or to plan for it. That's the key. 10. Transition. Chaos always exposes structure. If your life collapses under pressure, it's not because of bad luck. It's because of missing systems. Preparation is not about predicting the future. It's about insulating yourself from the worst version of it. It's not about fear. It's about freedom. You have a choice: to trust the calm or to train for the storm. That's the key. You've learned how to build buffers that prevent panic. Now it's time to understand what chaos truly does to you. It doesn't build you, it exposes you. Chapter 8. Chaos reveals character. IT doesn't build it. People love the myth that pressure makes diamonds. It sounds inspiring. It's wrong. Pressure doesn't create strength, it exposes it. Chaos doesn't build character, it reveals it. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your level of preparation. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. You have a choice: to train in calm or to collapse in chaos. That's the key. 1. The exposure principle. Chaos is an X-ray. It shows you what's inside. Not what you want to be, but what you actually are. If you've built discipline, chaos reveals precision. If you've built emotional control, chaos reveals composure. If you've built nothing, chaos reveals panic. The event doesn't define you, it displays you. Crisis doesn't create your habits, it amplifies them. You have a choice: to build quietly or to break publicly. That's the key. 2. The illusion of "I'll handle it when it happens." Most people live in fantasy. They say, "I'll handle it when it happens." They won't. They'll freeze. They'll argue. They'll look for someone else to fix it. Because you don't develop new tools in the middle of fire. You use the tools you already built. You don't learn to swim while drowning. You don't learn to lead in panic. You don't learn discipline in disaster. Preparation builds capacity. Chaos only measures it. You have a choice: to prepare before or to pay during. That's the key. 3. The law of daily construction. Every day, you're building someone. The question is, who? When you choose comfort, you're building fragility. When you choose discipline, you're building resilience. When you choose distraction, you're building reactivity. When you choose focus, you're building stability. You're not waiting for chaos, you're training for it. Each small choice compounds into your crisis response. You have a choice: to practice weakness or to practice strength. That's the key. 4. Case study: discipline under pressure. A soldier doesn't learn composure on the battlefield. It's built during thousands of control drills. When chaos hits, the trained mind acts automatically. Discipline replaces panic. Muscle memory replaces hesitation. Structure replaces emotion. You can't fake preparation under fire. You either built it or you didn't. You have a choice: to train repetition or to trust luck. That's the key. 5. Case study: emotional control in crisis. In chaos, emotions spike. Fear, anger, grief, they all surface at once. The untrained mind obeys emotion. The trained mind observes it. One reacts, the other responds. You don't learn emotional control in the storm. You practice it daily in small conflicts, in waiting lines, in discomfort. Every minor irritation is training for major pressure. You have a choice: to let emotion rule you or to rule emotion. That's the key. 6. The mirror effect of chaos. Chaos is a mirror. It reflects back everything you've ignored. Ignored finances? Chaos reveals financial weakness. Ignored health? Chaos reveals physical limits. Ignored relationships? Chaos reveals isolation. Whatever you neglect during peace becomes your vulnerability during war. Whatever you reinforce during peace becomes your weapon during war. You have a choice: to maintain illusions or to face reality. That's the key. 7. The role of habits. Habits are your autopilot under pressure. You don't rise above your habits. You revert to them. If your default is procrastination, chaos magnifies it. If your default is discipline, chaos strengthens it. That's why small habits matter more than big goals. The tiny daily decisions determine whether you can function when everything collapses. Your body and mind will fall back to training. That's why elite performers build disciplined habits until they're automatic. You have a choice: to hope for strength or to hardwire it. That's the key. 8. The myth of toughening up. People say chaos toughens you. It doesn't. It traumatizes the unprepared and refines the trained. Two people face the same storm. One breaks, one grows. The difference isn't the storm, it's the structure. Toughness isn't born in chaos. It's revealed there. You have a choice: to wait for chaos to toughen you or to train before it tests you. That's the key. 9. The character audit. Ask yourself 5 questions today. How do I handle discomfort right now? How do I respond to pressure right now? How do I recover from setbacks right now? How do I make decisions under fatigue right now? How do I act when no one is watching right now? Your answers reveal your crisis capacity. Don't wait for chaos to score the test for you. Audit your habits. Upgrade your systems. Because the exam is coming, you have a choice: to measure now or to be measured later. That's the key. 10. Transition. Chaos is not the teacher, it's the test. You don't get ready in the fire. You get revealed. So build now. Discipline daily. Train deliberately. Because when pressure comes, you won't become stronger. You'll become visible. You have a choice: to be exposed or to be proven. That's the key. You've seen how chaos uncovers who you are. Now you'll learn how to use each chaotic event to become stronger than before. Chapter 9. Post-chaos analysis compounds stability. Most people survive chaos once and then forget everything it taught them. They escape the fire, feel relief, and return to their old patterns. Then, when the next fire comes, they burn the same way again. Elite performers don't do that. They treat every chaotic event as a data source. They run the numbers. They extract frameworks. They convert pain into systems. That's how stability compounds. You have a choice: to survive and forget, or to survive and upgrade. That's the key. 1. The law of post-chaos reflection. Every event has two endings: the moment it ends externally and the moment you learn from it internally. The first ending happens automatically. The second requires discipline. Untrained minds stop at relief. Trained minds stop only when understanding is extracted. They know the cycle isn't complete until the lesson is locked. You have a choice: to close the loop or to repeat the lesson. That's the key. 2. The framework. 5 questions that build stability. After every chaotic event, personal, professional, or global, conduct a 1-hour review. Ask in order: what did I control well? Identify what worked. Preserve it. That's your foundation for future storms. What exposed my weaknesses? Locate the points of failure: skills, systems, or emotions. That's where growth begins. What protocols worked? Reinforce them. Refine them. Make them automatic. What protocols do I need to build? List missing systems. Create them before they're tested again. What I do differently next time? Document improved action steps. Practice them before chaos repeats. 5 questions. 1 hour. Permanent improvement. You have a choice: to let the lesson fade or to capture it. That's the key. 3. The after-action review, AR. The military perfected this. Every mission, successful or not, ends with an AAR. No emotion, no blame, just analysis. What was the objective? What actually happened? Why did it happen that way? Will we sustain? Will we change? This process is how elite units evolve after every operation. They don't wait for crisis to force improvement. They engineer improvement after every mission. You are your own command unit. Your life deserves the same rigor. You have a choice: to relive chaos or to debrief it. That's the key. 4. Turning chaos into data. Emotion distorts memory. That's why you must record insights before time erases detail. Write down. Document what failed, what succeeded, and why. Convert vague memory into concrete data. This transforms chaos from trauma into intelligence. Pain becomes information. Discomfort becomes a manual. You can't control when chaos hits, but you can control how much information you extract from it. You have a choice: to be hurt by chaos or to harvest it. That's the key. 5. Compounding stability over time. Each analyzed event adds a layer of resilience. Each reflection builds your internal system. Each framework prevents repetition. The untrained mind treats every crisis as a new problem. The trained mind treats every crisis as a test of a known protocol. This is how compounding stability works. Small chaos at 20 teaches emotional control. Medium chaos at 25 refines financial systems. Major chaos at 30 tests both. By 40, you're not lucky, you're layered. Chaos becomes predictable. Responses become automatic. You stop being reactive and start being anti-fragile. You have a choice: to be overwhelmed by frequency or empowered by accumulation. That's the key. 6. The 3-tier analysis model. Each review must operate on 3 levels. Level 1. Tactical. What actions failed or succeeded? What immediate changes are needed? Level 2. Strategic. What systems supported or failed you? What do you need, structure or delegation? Level 3. Psychological. What mindset strengthened or sabotaged you? Did emotion override execution? All 3 layers must be examined. Ignoring one guarantees repetition. You have a choice: to fix symptoms or to solve systems. That's the key. 7. The reflection habit. Post-chaos analysis isn't occasional. It's habitual. Every setback, every argument, every failure. One short reflection, same 5 questions. You don't wait for big chaos to practice. You analyze small ones daily. Traffic jams, conflicts, mistakes, they all contain data. Micro-reflections build macro-resilience. You have a choice, to drift through life or to document your evolution. That's the key. 8. The emotional detachment rule. Post-chaos reflection requires cold precision. No self-pity, no self-judgment, just structure. Detach from the story. Study the system. You're not replaying pain, you're rewriting performance. Detach to diagnose. Diagnose to design. Design to dominate. You have a choice, to analyze with ego or to analyze with objectivity. That's the key. 9. The power of debrief culture. If you lead a team, teach them to debrief after every storm. Build a culture where chaos isn't shameful, it's instructional. Ask together, what do we learn? What's repeatable? What changes tomorrow? The best teams evolve faster because they share data instead of blame. Every mistake becomes a shared improvement. Every setback becomes collective progress. You have a choice, to assign fault or to extract value. That's the key. 10. Transition. Chaos is only wasted when you ignore it. Every storm has a blueprint hidden inside it. The question is whether you'll capture it or repeat it. Each review compounds your clarity. Each reflection compounds your stability. Each framework compounds your control. You have a choice, to end at survival or to evolve into mastery. That's the key. You've learned how to extract frameworks from every storm. Now it's time to explore the highest level of control, when chaos no longer feels like chaos. Chapter 10. From controlled chaos to chaos immunity. At first, chaos feels like fire. You panic. You scramble. You burn. Then, you build frameworks. You run drills. You face storms and survive. And one day, something changes. The fire still burns, but it no longer consumes you. You stop fearing chaos because you've mastered it. That is chaos immunity. You have a choice, to keep being surprised by chaos or to be strengthened by it. That's the key. 1. The shift, when chaos stops feeling like chaos. After enough repetitions, the unknown becomes familiar. You've faced loss before. You've rebuilt before. You've adapted before. Now, when the next wave hits, you don't ask, why me? You ask, what's the signal? Job loss becomes a transition. Conflict becomes feedback. Crisis becomes data. It's not denial. It's discipline. You've turned reaction into response. You've turned emotion into execution. You have a choice, to treat chaos as punishment or to treat it as information. That's the key. 2. Chaos immunity defined. Chaos immunity doesn't mean indifference. It means internal stability under external volatility. You still feel the impact, but you stay functional. You still register the pain, but you stay rational. You still see uncertainty, but you stay deliberate. This isn't coldness, it's control. You build a nervous system that no longer collapses under pressure. You have a choice, to break under pressure or to bend and return stronger. That's the key. 3. The system behind immunity. Chaos immunity isn't luck. It's layered systems that activate automatically. When crisis hits, your protocols tell you what to do. Your perspective reminds you why it's happening. Your preparation gives you options others don't have. You no longer improvise, you execute. You don't rely on emotion, you rely on structure. This is the result of years of pre-chaos preparation, post-chaos reflection, and mid-chaos execution. Each cycle hardened your frameworks until they became instinct. You have a choice, to live by reaction or to operate by system. That's the key. 4. The 3 signs you've achieved chaos immunity. 1. Predictable calm. Your heart rate stays level in crisis because you've trained it through discomfort. 2. Automatic response. You execute checklists instead of panicking because you've rehearsed them. 3. Detached perspective. You process the event logically because you've separated information from emotion. This is what separates calm professionals from collapsing amateurs. They've seen chaos before and chaos lost. You have a choice: to rehearse calm or to rehearse panic. That's the key. 5. Chaos as feedback. At this level, chaos becomes useful. It's not something to fear, it's something to study. Each new disruption reveals micro inefficiencies in your system. Each failure exposes where structure still leaks. You no longer say, "I can't believe this happened." You say, "Good. Now I know what to fix." Chaos stops being a storm. It becomes an instructor. You have a choice: to resist the lesson or to extract it. That's the key. 6. The anti-fragile mindset. Fragile things break under pressure. Resilient things survive pressure. Anti-fragile things grow stronger because of pressure. Chaos immunity is anti-fragility realized. Every test adds strength instead of taking it. A missed opportunity trains patience. A broken plan trains adaptability. A sudden failure trains detachment. You no longer hope for calm. You know chaos is coming and welcome it as training. You have a choice: to fear the storm or to feed on it. That's the key. 7. The algorithm of response. When chaos hits, your system runs automatically. Pause. Interrupt panic. Assess. Identify control variables. Execute. Apply pre-built protocols. Document. Capture lessons. Refine. Adjust frameworks. This is not emotional. It's operational. You don't hope to handle it. You run the process. You have a choice: to rely on emotion or to rely on execution. That's the key. 8. The detachment advantage. Detachment is misunderstood. It's not apathy, it's altitude. You rise above the situation to see the full field. You stop drowning in emotion and start navigating through information. You ask better questions. You make cleaner moves. You waste no energy on resistance. This is what chaos immunity feels like. Not numbness, but clarity. You have a choice: to sink into emotion or to rise into strategy. That's the key. 9. The long-term effect. When chaos stops controlling you, life opens up. You take bigger risks because you're not afraid of failure. You move faster because uncertainty no longer paralyzes you. You lead better because you see through panic. Most people avoid pressure. You operate under it with precision. That's freedom. Not the absence of chaos, but the mastery of it. You have a choice: to chase comfort or to pursue control. That's the key. 10. Transition. You've reached the end state. Chaos no longer breaks you. It informs you. You no longer fear change. You command it. You've built the frameworks. You've refined the protocols. You've practiced the composure. Now, when the next storm hits, you won't flinch. You have a choice: to remain reactive or to live immune. That's the key. You've learned to expect chaos, separate signal from noise, build protocols, shrink your circle of control, and extract lessons from every storm. Now, your mission is simple: apply it. Daily, repeatedly, until chaos becomes just another input in your system of control. You've reached the point where uncertainty bends around your structure. That's chaos immunity. That's unshakable stability. Chaos is not your enemy. Chaos is your trial. Believe it. You already have all the structures you need to get through it. Now you know that stability is not the norm. It is a skill you develop every day. You know how to separate the signal from the noise when information overwhelms you. You know the October 10 structure that prevents reactive decisions. You know to create protocols before the crisis so you can act, not improvise, when everything falls apart. You know how to compartmentalize emotions without repressing them. You know to focus only on your circle of control and ignore everything outside it. You know that preparation prevents panic. You know that chaos reveals character, it doesn't build it. You know how to analyze each chaotic event to extract lessons. And you know that immunity to chaos is possible when you build structures that turn crises into processes. So here's your mission. Now, today, before chaos strikes, create your protocols. Write down your 5 most likely chaotic scenarios. Create your immediate measures for each of them. Identify your circle of control. Create your buffers, financial, relational, skill-based. Practice emotional compartmentalization in small situations. Conduct post-chaos reviews on every difficult event, because chaos is coming. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year, but it's coming. And when it does, the only question that matters is, are you the person who falls apart? Or are you the person who stays calm, sees clearly, and executes effectively while everyone else is panicking? Build your frameworks now. Control the chaos. Become unshakable.